Hey there, my lovely Math 8 people. We are going to go ahead and talk about this reflection and how this means that figures are congruent and how to properly reflect as 8th graders. This should be notes taken in your notebook, so make sure you have your notebook out. If you don't, go ahead and pause the video and go grab that. All right, go ahead and title this Reflections in your notebook and write down the essential question. Here's our two key definitions for reflection. What is a reflection? It's a flip over a line of reflection, and a line of reflection is the other key definition that we're looking for. This picture gives us a clear image of what we are supposed to be doing. If you need more time to write this down, please pause the video and get this into your notes. It's your visual aid for today. All right, thanks for pausing your video. Now, I know as 8th graders, you need to visualize, but you also have to put your math skills behind why and how to properly reflect. So let's go ahead and go through those in our next slides. All right, for this first part here, this upper part right here, A and B, don't write them down, just watch, please. But when we come down to 1, 2, and 3, I would like you to put in your notes. Put in notes. All right, just looking at A, if we were to fold, if we could fold the screen on this line right here, would our vertices match up if we flipped it? So far, I am seeing that they would match up. Therefore, it is, just by looking at a reflection of the red figure. All right, B, if we were to match up, this one would have to go over here if we reflected over this line. So this one, nope, not a reflection. They don't match up. If we were to fold it, it's not, we didn't stamp it. This actually just got moved, which is a translation. We just talked about that last week. All right, let's go through these 3 examples. Pause your video at this point in time. Go ahead and answer if they are a reflection and explain why. Okay, pause. Thank you for pausing your video. You should be checking your answers and the explanation why. The first one is no. The first one is no because it didn't flip. It just got moved. Well, translation is the word I would really like to hear when you are talking about why. All right, number 2 is also no because it just got moved to the right. Translation, it just got translated to the right. Number 3 is a yes, it did, because it was flipped. It did get flipped for number 3. Okay, if you have any questions at this point in time, make sure you're asking them in class. I'm here to help you, whatever you need. All right, as 8th graders, I need you to get away from just being able to visualize if they are a reflection to the algebra behind and how to make it exact. So in words, don't have to write this down. You're going to take notes of what I put down here on this bottom half of my screen. All right, words. To reflect a figure in the x-axis, take the opposite of the y-coordinate. And to reflect a figure in the y-axis, take the opposite of the x-coordinate. It's super important that we remember that this vertical line is y and this horizontal line here is x. So when we're reflecting a figure in the x-axis, which is going, you're going to fold your paper hot dog style, no hamburger, you're going to fold the paper hamburger style. You're going to be flipping into the quadrants above or below the figure. So x-axis, you're going to take the opposite of the y. So super important we know this algebra. Here's what I should be seeing in your notes. All right, if we're flipping in the y-axis, so we're flipping into right or left of the figure. Right or left, the y-axis is the vertical line. we will be taking the opposite of the x value. So I'll go x comma y, and the x will change from a positive to a negative, or a negative to a positive, and the y will stay the same. All right, go ahead and pause your video if you needed more time to write this down. We are going to go through this in our next slide with a couple of examples. All right, so we have a triangle that's in quadrant 1 and in quadrant 2. And we are going to draw the figure that is reflected in the x-axis. So we're going to reflect here. This is our line of reflection. Okay, if we're reflecting in the x-axis, our algebra told us we'll take the opposite of our y's. We'll take the opposite of our y's. And luckily, this problem even already gave us our ordered pairs. So we're going to take our ordered pairs and we're going to take the opposite of y. Our image of A is -1, comma -1. Our image of B is -1, comma -3. The opposite of +3 is -3. C's image is 6, comma, -3. The opposite of +3 is -3. All right, and it's super important that you put these apostrophes in there because you're talking about an image, and these are your pre-image, and this is your image. I put down the solution to this. Let's see what we have here. Double check. We should have A's image is -1, -1, B's image is -1, -3, and C's image is 6, -3. Okay, you don't have to put this in your notes. Go ahead and just continue watching to the next one, and when I tell you to put this in your notes, that's when you'll do it. All right, let's try this with another example in which we have the vertices of a quadrilateral. And super nice that we have our ordered pairs because we can quickly and efficiently go through this. We're going to draw the figure. We're going to draw the figure. This is our pre-image. Ooh, my pen's getting. And this is our image. When we're reflecting in the y-axis, we're going right and left. And we take the opposite of the x value. So the opposite of -2 is +2. Keep y the same. This is P's image. Take the opposite of Q's image. Sorry, the opposite of -1 is +1, and the y's stay the same. R's image, the opposite of -4 is +4, and the y stays the same. And last, S's image is opposite of -4 is +4 and 4, and that's exactly what this table showed us. Here's another way you can organize your work, just as an example. Let me make sure I got my answers. P image is good, Q's image is good, R's image is good, and S image is good. All right, let's go through this with a couple more examples, and we're going to start putting these into our notes now. All right, I do want this in your notes. Please put in notes. All right. The vertices of the triangle A, B, and C, D are shown in the figure. We're going to draw the figure, and then we're going to reflect it in the X and the Y. And are they congruent? I think it's easier to step away from graphing and just go ahead and work with our ordered pairs. So our ordered pairs are A, B, C, D. A's is -4, -3, B's is -4, -1, C's is -1, -1, and D's is -1, -3. All right, I'm going to first reflect in the x-axis. If we're reflecting in the x-axis, meaning we're going to go up or down in our image, up or down, that means with our algebra, we need to take the opposite of the y. That's what negative means, is take the opposite. So x-axis, our image is take the opposite of y. So -4 stays the same. The opposite of -3 is +3. All right. The image of B prime, sorry, B pre-image is negative 4 stays the same, and negative 1 becomes 1. C's image is negative 1 stays the same, and the opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. D's image stays the same. D's image goes from negative 1 to positive 3. Alright, so now we're going to draw this all in there after I go through all 3 examples, just so you can see how much quick and easy this is. Alright, let's go ahead and do the y-axis now, the y-axis, and that's where we take the opposite of x. Take the opposite of x because we're going left and right for a y-axis flip, left and right. I'm going to go ahead and put my y-axis image here. Y-axis image here. Alright, the image of A, we're looking at changing this negative 4 to a positive 4. We'll go 4, comma, negative 3. I'm going to put a double so we know that this is our second one. B's image, double. Take the opposite of negative 4, which will become positive 4, and negative 1. C's image, we're going to take the opposite of negative 1, which is positive 1, and negative 1 stays the same. And D's, let me see if I can fit that on there. D's, opposite of negative 1 is positive 1, comma, negative 3. All right, let me graph these really quick so you can see. Alright, sorry, I had a glitch in my computer, and now I'm going to go through and draw this for you. You should have the ordered pairs already written in your notes, so I'm going to redo this on a new slide because it didn't work. Okay, we're going to go by 1, so I'm going to put down 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1, so I know what you're going by. Alright, our ordered pairs for the image, the pre-image, are negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 3, 1, 2, 3. B's are negative 4, negative 1. C's are what? Negative 1, negative 1. C and D's are negative 1, negative 3. All right. This is the long way. It's much easier and more efficient if you definitely go by the ordered pairs, which we just talked about. All right, now we're going to reflect in the x-axis, and I have it written down what we put on that last slide that you should have on your paper already. Okay, reflect in the x-axis, so we're going to reflect above it, so we're going to flip above it, meaning B is going to be on the bottom, C is going to be on the bottom, B image, C image, A is going to be on top, and D is going to be on top. All right, that was our flip in the x-axis. All right, let's go ahead and flip in the y-axis. So we're going to be flipping this way now. All right, C is now going to be on the left side. D is now going to be on the left side. C, D, A is going to be on the right side, and B is going to be on the right side. This is our second image, so that's why I'm putting 2 apostrophes. And you got it. Are these congruent now? The answer is yes, because they are the same shape, same size, and this is going to be super important. Include that explain in there. If you don't remember this for that essential question, come back to the slide and it will help explain to you how to answer your essential question. All right, we're going to go through this next slides with a couple of examples that I need you to try on your own answers. All right, so we have questions 1 through 4. And then question number 5 is right here. Don't forget question number 5. I would like you to try these 5 questions, pause your video, and then resume, and I will answer the question for you. All right, thanks for pausing your video. You should have found that your coordinates for number 1 change. So A's image is going to be, when you reflect in the y-axis, you're changing your x values, so take the opposite of the x values. Hopefully you didn't graph them because it's much easier to go through and with the ordered pair. So the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2, 4 stays the same. B's image, opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. and y stays the same. C's image, opposite of -1 is +1, and -1 stays the same. Okay, A's image is going to be 2, 5. B's image, 5, 1. C's image, 3, -4. When you reflect in the x-axis, you change the y because you're moving up or down. Y is always up or down. All right, so A's image for this one is going to stay -4, opposite of -2 is +2. B's image, 4 is going to stay the same, and the opposite of -1 is +1. C's image, oh, don't forget apostrophes, is 1 stays the same, and the opposite of -6 is +6. Number 4, A's image is the opposite of -2. Sorry, oh, we're reflecting on the y. -2 stays the same. Opposite of +5 is -5. B's image, 4 stays the same. Opposite of +8 is -8. And C's image, don't forget the apostrophes, is 5 stays the same. The opposite of 1 is -1. All right, last but not least, number 5. Will the letter E look the same when reflected in the y-axis? The answer is no. It will be a backwards E. It will be a backwards E because it flips. Remember, we flip it. All right, go ahead and pause your video. Answer this essential question. If you don't remember, I just talked about it on that last slide. When you're done answering this essential question, go to the checkpoint underneath the materials for Schoology underneath this video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.